What if I told you that much of what we believe about health today is built on shaky ground, not because of science, but because of personal anecdote from so-called health gurus? The truth is, we've been misled. What works for one person might not work for everyone, and that's a dangerous way to understand health. We live in an age where everyone and everything has a platform, and health advice is no exception. Scroll through social media and you are bombarded with tips from influencers, wellness experts, and these so-called health gurus. These people often have a huge following. They claim to have figured it all out and preaches methods that have supposedly transformed their lives. From extreme diets to fitness hacks, they offer solutions wrapped in glossary packing. But here's the issue. Much of what they promote isn't based on science. It's based on their personal experiences, and that is where things start to unravel. No doubt that the personal stories are powerful. If someone goes from being overweight to lean, from sick to healthy, or from sluggish to full of energy, it's easy to be inspired. But the problem arises when these individuals turn their personal story into universal advice. Just because a specific diet or workout work wonders for them doesn't mean it will do it for everyone, and yet they often make it sound like it will. Take, for example, the rise of extreme diets like keto, carnivore, or even juice cleanse. Health gurus latch onto these approaches because they experience success. They talk about their rapid weight loss, improved energy levels, and even mental clarity. They post before and after photos that are hard to ignore. But here's the thing. Science tells us that nutrition is far more complex than simply eliminating food groups or following strict protocols. Research shows that individual responses to food can vary widely based on factors like genetics, metabolism, activity level, and gut health. What works for one person's body can be completely unsuitable or even harmful for another. Yet these health gurus don't mention that. Instead, they speak in absolutes. This is the best diet for weight loss. You'll feel amazing if you follow this program. And because it worked for them, they believe it's the answer for everyone. But that is not how health works. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. Let's look at fitness advice. You've probably seen influencers promoting their workout routine, showing off their sculpted bodies and telling you that you too can look like them if you just follow their plan. Whether it's high-intensity interval training, lifting heavy weights, or doing yoga 6 days a week, they make it sound like it's the secret to success. And if it worked for them, it should work for you too, right? No, not exactly. Fitness is deeply personal. Some people thrive on intense workouts, while others end up with injuries and burnouts. Science shows us that our bodies respond differently to exercise depending on our fitness levels, age, and even our stress levels. Yet, health gurus often present their routines as the ultimate solution, ignoring the nuances that makes each of us unique. And when people try to replicate their routines without understanding their own body's needs, it can lead to frustration, injury, or worse, thinking they've failed, when the truth is the plan was never right for them in the first place. Then there's the world of supplements. Health gurus often rave about the latest superfoods, vitamins, or supplements that supposedly transform their health. Maybe it's a trendy adaptogen, a new multivitamin, or even a collagen powder. And because they felt better after taking it, they assume that everyone should take it. But here is where science steps in again. Supplements aren't a magic bullets. And for many of my patients, and many I have counseled on everyday health, most supplements are just expensive pee, because it goes in and it goes out with your pee. And the supplement industry is largely unregulated, and many of the claims made by health influencers are anecdotal at best. While some people may genuinely benefit from certain supplements, others might not see any difference or could even experience harmful side effects. A vitamin that works wonders for one person might be completely unnecessary or even dangerous for another. And I will make another episode about it, but I just have to put it in here. We have the vitamins that get dissolved by fat and dissolved by water. The ones who get dissolved by fat, you can actually get an overdose of, and that is not good. The one who is dissolved by water, well, they turn into expensive pee. And besides this being generally available knowledge, health gurus often push products like this as if they were universally beneficial, failing to mention that they are promoting their personal experience, not solid science. What's really happening here is something psychologists call the fallacy of personal experience. Just because something works for an individual, they assume it must be truth for everyone. But personal experience isn't scientific evidence. Science relies on controlled studies, large sample sizes, and repeatable results. It acknowledges individual differences and tries to find patterns that apply to as many people as possible. Health gurus, on the other hand, often skip this step, promoting what works for them as a universal truth, and for some of them, it is not even what works for them. It is the product they earn the most on. But while we're at it, let's not forget about the placebo effect. Sometimes people feel better not because of the diet, workout, or supplement itself, but because they believe it will work. Our brains are powerful, and placebo effect is well documented in science. When someone believes they are doing something good for their health, they might experience positive changes regardless of whether the method actually works. This isn't to say their experience isn't real, but it's a reminder that just because something seems to work doesn't mean it's working for the reason that they think. Let's also address the idea of confirmation biases. Once a health guru adopts a specific method and see results, they start looking for evidence that supports their beliefs and ignoring anything that contradicts it. They'll cite a few studies that align with their experiences while dismissing the broader scientific consensus. And this is so dangerous because it creates an echo chamber where only one perspective is reinforced, and anything that challenges it is cast aside. And now you might wonder, if health gurus are so wrong, why do so many people follow them? The answer lies in relatability. People are drawn to stories they can connect with. A health guru who struggles with the same issues you do, whether it's weight loss, fatigue, or chronic pain, feels like someone who understands you. Their personal experiences makes them seem trustworthy and authentic. But being relatable isn't the same as being scientifically accurate. It is easy to get caught up in someone else's journey, especially when it is wrapped in personal success and compelling narratives. But here is the reality. Science doesn't care about stories, it cares about data, repeatability, and the bigger picture. Just because a health guru found success with one approach and found one paper that supports them doesn't mean it's rooted in science, or even that it is the right approach for you. We also need to talk about how health gurus often ignore the concept of individual variability. Science shows us that everybody is different. Our genes, our environments, our lifestyles, they all play a role in how we respond to food, exercise, and supplements. What works for one person might be completely wrong for another. Health isn't a straight line. It's a combination of factors that interacts in a complex way. Health gurus often oversimplify these complexities, offering a cookie-coded advice that doesn't take into account the nuance of human biology. So where do we go from here? How do we break free from the influence of health gurus and start understanding health in a more accurate way? Will you click that subscribe button? But besides that, it starts by recognizing that there are no shortcuts. Real health isn't about following the latest fad or copying what works for someone else. It's about understanding your own body and making decisions based on advice, not anecdotes. That means being critical of what advice you hear, even if it sounds convincing. Ask yourself, is it backed by science? Is it tailored to my unique needs? Or is it just someone else's experiences? And here's the tricky part. Health is rarely about extremes. Health gurus often promote radical approaches. Cut out entire food groups. Exercise for hours every day. Take this long list of supplements. But science tells us that health is about balance. It's about finding a sustainable way to live that works for you in the long term. Extreme diets, intense workout regimes, and loads of supplements might work for a short period, but they are rarely a sustainable method, and they are almost never necessary. The truth is, health advice tends to be boring. It's not flashy or revolutionary. It's the same advice we've heard for decades. Eat a balanced diet, exercise regularly, get enough sleep, manage stress. It's not glamorous and it doesn't, promises overnight transformations, but it works. The problem is that's not what sells. These health gurus know that dramatic claims and extreme transformations grabs your attention. But just because something is exciting doesn't mean it's effective. Also, if you want to avoid these health gurus and start to recognize the echo chambers they produce, then check out this video about, digital echo chambers and how we avoid them. So check it out right now.